start? I don't know whether you know Rama Malik.
What is his name?
Rama Malik.
Malik.
She has worked as personal secretary from Dr. Prajna Pai onwards till Sanjay Oak. And now she is working for D.R.SUPE Alumni Association. That's how all these interviews she is transcribing.
Dr. Subhash, can I ask you one thing? All of you have tea or coffee? What do you like? Tea? Tea or coffee? What? Cha. Okay. Afterwards?
How are you going to do this?
Sir, she has come, she wants to know, but we would like you to just start and tell about you. Starting from beginning, so that we know about how you grew up, how you studied, what was the college atmosphere, what was there, then when you became part of the staff, and how you brought up the gastroenterology department. Your interactions with your colleagues, and of course how overall you saw what changes, and finally of course what message you want to give.
An additional, the font is small, na?
Sir, you please just speak.
Sir, just
You don't want to read this out.
No, if you forget something, I will ask you a question. But just go on speaking.
Spontaneously,
and remember,
spontaneously.
and then we will see if something is missed. Please feel free, sir, to talk.
yes, just tell about yourself.
Start where you were born and all that. And then
Yeah,
start.
yeah. So,
I am Dr.B.D.Pimparkar. Was born in a small village, population of 5,000, with only one Marathi school. There was no high school. There was at college and anything. Most of my further education was in district places, away from my village. And ultimately I reached Bombay after my inter science, and I joined KM at G.S.MEDICAL College in
50.
No, I graduated in 1950. I joined earlier. Joined when I joined as assistant honorary professor, assistant honorary physician. There was no separate department of gastroenterology at that time. There were four departments were under the professor of medicine. Raghavan was the full-time professor at that time. And we four of us were working as assistant professors with only 5 or 6 beds to each one of us. Gastroenterology was in infancy. Mostly what we used to do was clinical gastroenterology. Raghavan had one honorary before him who introduced Raghavan to gastroenterology actually. And only thing, there was no separate laboratory for the there was a clinical laboratory which was created only for full-time department. And being assistant professor, assistant physician in gastroenterology, we started working in this number 44 special gastroenterology department, special department for the full-time department, for Sen and Raghman. We only thing which was done there at that time was blood count, stool, urine, and instrument test. First was fractional gastric analysis test, then instrument test. At my time when I joined, and Selkies introduced augmented instrument test, we switched over to augmented instrument test, and my most of the work in the beginning was on two things. One was gastric analysis with augmented instrument test. The second was my interest being in malabsorption. I tried to set up all malabsorption tests there. Malabsorption tests, while I was doing, I was introduced to isotopes, and most of the work, isotope became my hobby. Gastroenterology was my profession actually. And most of my work was related to these two subjects, two topics. But augmented instrument test, I first did the standardization of the augmented instrument test as it is related to our country. First I decided on the optimum dose of histamine for maximum natural output. And then subsequently I did gastric analysis in various, not only normal and duodenal ulcer, but other subjects also, like ankylostomasis, tuberculosis, abdominal tuberculosis, GRDSUPE, or being part of the general hospital. Peptic ulcer was most common. There used to be at least one perforated duodenal ulcer per week, practically per day. We did the work on ulcers, not only on perforated, but other cases, and surgeons were active. They did all types of gastric surgery for peptic ulcer, and it was vagotomy, special vagotomy, partial gastrectomy, vagotomy with partial gastrectomy. All these patients were studied by me with augmented instrument test. That was mainly my original work, starting with, besides setting up malabsorption. There was practically no malabsorption test when I joined. Neither there was augmented instrument test going on. And when I, being made assistant professor, I insisted that there used to be one postgraduate student with us. Later on they become two. I insisted that every postgraduate do some research work, and most of their subjects given to them to do research was in these two topics, mostly in gastroenterology, augmented instrumentation, malabsorption, and we not only did they did the work, I corrected the theses, most of them helped them to write the thesis, and some of them read these papers. At one time there was no gastroenterology technician working. I got a grant from drug company. It started with all these actually. Municipality refused to give me technician separately because and most of this was work done by the help from drug company. These theses were at least minimum 20 doctors did MD under me and wrote theses under me. Minimum 20. Then
Baba, even trace elements in liver disease, serum trypsin, and
subsequently, as we went beyond from these two, we were also interested in liver disease. And we did most of the liver function tests, and not only function tests, but also I got the idea from being interested in isotopes. I came in contact with our atomic energy, DRC. For your information, I will tell you something very interesting. First thyroid uptake was made by me by going to DRC. And that was, so thyroid in a sense become side subject, and it is subject of interest for me. And this probe subsequently Western countries came into scanners, different types of scanners. Except for X-ray department, there is nothing in KM hospital that time. Later on, while I was presenting this, I might say here very frankly, I was lucky to before I became assistant professor, Indian Medical Association and American Medical Association, under at that time Chester Bowles was the ambassador to India. And he decided that some Indian doctors should go to America for postgraduate education. Actually, I was one of the selectees in that. We went to America. I was first placed in Howard University, Freedman's Hospital. And there also was general medicine, internal medicine they used to call it there. We used to call it general medicine. I did work as a resident for 3 years. While I was finishing my 3rd year, I decided that I should do something further postgraduate. And my gastroenterology professor there in Harvard University drove me 150 miles to Dr. Bacchus, who was a famous gastroenterology, who had first written the first book on gastroenterology. And Bacchus accepted me as a graduate. We did a course in gastroenterology first, and then after my course, I applied for fellowship to National Institute of Health, Washington, D.C. I got the fellowship, and under that fellowship I did most of my isotope work. Most of it was on malabsorption, various types of malabsorption. I did while, and out of this work in University of Pennsylvania under Dr. Bacchus, I did Doctor of Science degree in medicine, which with that degree only I got in KM Hospital as a doctor. I had more, after MBBS, I should have done MD here, but I went to America, and that's why I did doctorate there. And I attended, Bacchus was the first president of the first World Congress of Gastroenterology. I being his fellow instructor in medicine, in surgery, gastroenterology, he organized the first World Congress. I was made member of the reception committee there. And since then I attended 5 World Congresses, 5 Bacchus International Conferences. Before that, while I was doing this work in India, I attended the first World Congress of Nuclear Medicine in Tokyo and presented at each phase. I presented my research papers. They were acclaimed there. That's how I collected this, and credit I got. Work was done my postgraduation, my colleagues. While doing this, 5 technicians got PhD under me. And they also did work over whatever subject I had given. One of the technicians was given the subject of trace elements in liver disease. And we did toxic and non-toxic trace elements with the help of our BRC. He used to go take samples there, run the sample there, and he wrote a PhD thesis and he got PhD. He was one of the ones who did PhD also. Other 5 also were given similar subjects. And they did PhD on these. Subsequently, after our work was set up, municipality ultimately allowed one technician for gastroenterology. I was pleading with my professor and one dean, Dr. W.L.Kothari that time. I will do only gastroenterology, leave me out of medicine. He said, no, since we had only 5 beds, everybody 4 specialties had only 5 beds. There was no full ward for any specialty. Trace elements was was rarely studied in India, actually. We studied 5 non-toxic and 5 toxic trace elements for liver disease. Besides this work, I used to, when I was assistant professor and started it, we started GI conferences in KM. Conferences were, in these conferences, besides general gastroenterology, we used to hold special session with pathology department, histopathology and liver diseases and other gastrointestinal diseases. We also used to hold radiology conference weekly, GI radiology conference. There was reading club, and whenever we got foreign visitors or visiting India, we used to arrange their meeting in KM Hospital, G.S.MEDICAL College. And several of them gave lectures on the gradually gastroenterology. I was trying with help of others to start DM gastroenterology. We applied for the University of Pennsylvania, but it came up after I retired. In general,
serum trypsin in pancreatic diseases.
there was something new which we did, trypsin estimation in pancreatic disease, particularly acute and chronic pancreatitis, was with the help of radioactive trypsin. We started it, we carried it on. This was, so I, in a sense, I set up a gastroenterology department. Vakas, my Professor Raghavan was professor of medicine. Dean Joglekar told me once that you are the first professor of gastroenterology in KM Hospital. That came from the Dean. We didn't ask her to say that I am the first.
Yeah.
Now basically endoscopy, when I joined, we had a rigid endoscope. In America also, in the institution with Bacchus, originally there was a rigid endoscope. And only certain people trained in endoscopy used to do it. We did it. We also used to do gastro with rigid endoscopy. The first fiber optic gastroscope endoscope came to KM Hospital in India. That was a donation from Dr. Foundation. We started using that. We used it subsequently as we became up to 70. I was assistant professor. 70 I became the professor of medicine and gastroenterology. we asked for different scopes. Only scope we used to do in the beginning was sigmoidoscopy. Rarely we use rigid gastroscope, occasionally. We decided to find out gastroenterology in children also. We studied malabsorption in kwashiorkor and malasomas. We presented papers on this. One of my students got PhD in this subject. So that was now basically when I look back upon it, I am in a sense disappointed. I wanted to set up gastroenterology department completely, full-fledged gastroenterology department. Not only that, while doing this as professor, I was attached to two other private hospitals. There also I did research work, and what I was debating endoscopy. We asked for endoscopy scope for the Department of Gastroenterology. They came, but and now they have grown up. Important thing what I have been telling my students, both undergraduate and postgraduate, that technology is useful. I use isotope as a technology. I could do something more than ordinary clinician could do. Other technologies like sonography, CT scan, PET-CT, MRI, they all came later on. We used them. I used it in practice also, even after retirement, while practicing also. In private hospitals, some of these things came first before they came to KE. While practicing, some of the ministers became my patient. I pleaded with at least 3-4 ministers of health that we have separate hospitals for eye, we have separate hospital for ENT. Why not for gastroenterology? We should set up a separate gastroenterology institute. Unfortunately, I did not succeed. Now, some others have started this and I'm very happy with it. My feeling for students who are undergraduate and postgraduate is that technology is useful, it helps you, but don't forget your clinical medicine. It is more useful when you use clinical medicine. Don't do it only technology. In technology there is money. Patient and hospitals get money. Doctors also get money who use technology. But clinical medicine gives you much more satisfaction, mental satisfaction to all of us, particularly if you use technology with clinical medicine. There was collaboration with pharmacology department also. There was collaboration with pathology department also. And Some of the postgraduates who did PhD, they also have become somebody today. That's all most of the things I would say. If I have forgotten anything, you can tell me, you can ask me a question. But most of these are
You were co-author to second edition of textbook of
well, we three people from Bombay were trained by the same gastroenterologist, Dr. Marcus. Raghavan was the first one, Antia second, and myself third. Only person who contributed to his book was me. These two people could have contributed, but they were not asked to contribute. Second edition of Baka Gastroenterology, I have 2 chapters in it written. And when I went to London, professor of medicine, professor of gastroenterology, appreciated my chapters. Yes, I guess, World Congress of Gastroenterology at different places. And second or third gastroenterology, World Congress Gastroenterology was in Copenhagen. I was awarded fellowship by the World Congress of Gastroenterology there also. So my plea to today also is, specialization is good. I was in the beginning was a little bit hesitant to make liver separate, but later on, as the liver also grew, we also grew with liver. Australian antigen came after I became assistant professor. Then various complications of Australian antigen and other viruses also started in clinical practice. Because I was clinician in clinical practice, we used all these. That's all I would say for the present. If you want to ask anything else.
Baba, you were founder member of Indian Society of Gastroenterology.
President.
President. When I first came back from America, we had a meeting in Madras where few gastroenterologists met. I was one of the founder members of the gastroenterology. Later on, I became president of the gastroenterology, Indian Society of Gastroenterology, and contributed that also. In fact, except till my last 5-6 years, I have attended practically every Indian Society of Gastroenterology annual meeting, presenting papers in each practically.
You have around 110 publications to credit.
Out of this research work, publications came up. And they were both national and international journals. My malabsorption thesis, I don't know, thesis on malabsorption with Bacchus, that was published in BMJ, and there was an editorial on it. We tried to set up trypsin in America also. Chemically, it was not possible to do it but isotopically it became possible. We used it. Now you are free to ask me any questions you like.
Sir, you have worked in KM hospital and you have worked in private hospitals like Bombay Hospital and Nanavati. So, what difference you found working in these two setups?
See, in these private hospitals, there was no research. I was one of the ones who started research in Bombay Hospital, in Nanavati Hospital. Whatever I set up in KM, I set that up in private hospitals also. Difference is that private hospitals got certain biotechnology earlier than KM. When I went to World Congress, when I got the fellowship, I was in England. First Dr.M.V.L.Kothari analyzer, what is known as G.S.MEDICAL came in Bombay Hospital. Later on, it came up in Bombay Hospital. But I had written actually a letter to our dean. Not only a letter, but I brought in what do you call, how to purchase this.
Okay.
Invoice.
Procedure.
Invoice.
And I gave it to our dean. I told them, you bring this heart analyzer, most of the laboratory work will be done by this. Bring two auto analyzers. Most of the laboratory work will be done by this. It will be more accurate than handwork. Unfortunately, these auto analyzers in KM also came after I retired. Though I suggested this earlier. One other thing which I might mention here, we are all trying to set up DM gastroenterology. We wrote letters to the University of Bombay. Some of them came only after I retired. Now there is KM is also recognized for DM gastroenterology. जरा अंदर ले जाएगा.
1 minute.
Whatever I have done, it could not have been done without the help of my teachers, without the help of my students, postgraduates particularly. Without that, I could not have achieved anything. And without the technicians also. And one other thing, my wife helped me throughout this. My parents' Ashirwad was there. Without that, I could not have done all this. My father was a farmer in a small village. And he used to tell me, your education is my estate. I don't want any more estate. Which I tell to all my students. And famous man, Dr.B.D.Pimparkar, he told me, You do good work, money will come to you. You don't go after money. My feeling today, after 7 years, is the same. It's mainly these lessons which I learned from my teachers, which has helped me. And I must say, my superiors wherever I work helped me. It was not so easy to set up in KM all this, what I told you, without the help of my superiors.
Sir, now in your work, your research component is so strong. Like nowadays, everybody talks about research, but during your time, from where it came, like very strong research in clinician, so much you have documented. So to do it and to document it
Without Google.
without Google, and
Yeah.
nowadays it is mandatory
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't get promotions without that.
Yeah.
So people do research, but
Yeah.
during his time, it is his own calling. Like
In the beginning, as I told you, where I had no technician, we got a small grant from one of the drug firms, and subsequently also some drug firms helped me, out of which I kept one typist who used to type all these papers. Each paper used to be typed at least 3-4 times before it went for publication. And in a sense, there is one thing, full-time departments in a sense are very helpful, but honoraries also are very helpful. Some of you may not know this, but Kerala pancreatitis, calcific pancreatitis in Kerala, was first detected and shown by our honorary surgeon Baliga. Similarly, work by Vakil and Golwala, both were teachers. Golwala has done a tremendous work in his book. It takes a hell of time to write and do then. And I was happy to be with Golwala also. Raghun also, I was very happy. He helped me. One thing which I pleaded with all ministers to start a gastroenterology hospital, which I could not succeed. My feeling today, even at that time, was that KM should be something like All India Institute of Medical Science, autonomous auto unit. Unfortunately, my patients also taught me many things. For example, augmented instrument test to establish the optimum dose. We had to do gastric analysis 7, 8, 10 times on each patient and they agreed to get it done. So without their cooperation, this was not possible.
Sir, most of your students took up gastroenterology as their career.
That's right.
So, like, how did you motivate them? Like,
Motivate, first motivation from postgrad was give them a topic and see that they work on it and collect the data. That was the first thing. And in undergraduate also I used to mention that you should do something for our own country and our own situation. Most of my work is as applicable to India. Whatever work I have done with Bacchus was there, it was done in his institute. And to do this work, financial help must be there. As I said in the beginning, when I started doing work on post-malabsorption in Bacchus, I got a fellowship from the National Institute of Health. Here our ICMR, I pleaded with them, it is not only Delhi, Chandigarh, it is other institutions also are doing something. You should help them financially. I said this openly. Pharmaceutical firms, we have a federation of APPI or something like that. I tell them that what you are doing is making combination of drug made in outside. You are not produced a single drug in this country yet, which is useful. We should do research. Sibasa started something and closed, which was very wrong in a sense, because they could not get help. Cipla does some help, but now don't mention the names.
sir, I have a very different question. When it comes to any stomach ailments, everybody is a doctor. People give whatever advice. So when practicing as a gastroenterologist, how did you perceive these various people advising and practicing variety of things when it comes to matters related to gastro?
Those who showed me interest in gastroenterology, I encourage them.
Not that way, sir. Generally, when patients come, they will go to homeopathy, they will go to Ayurveda, they will go to household remedies, and when they are done with everything else, then they go to a gastroenterologist. So, what is your feeling about or approach or say on this?
Approach is see, as a consulting physician, practicing consulting physician, most of my patients I got were shopping around with various medical institutions, medical doctors. And I tell them, if you are not better there, whatever I can offer you is, I don't offer you cure, but I can help you. For example, Bacchus's first book on gastroenterology, first volume, first edition, mentions bacteria in stomach. But nobody followed it up. Ultimately it came out to Helicobacter pylori. I might tell you my own example. I wanted to set up isotopic test for amoebiasis. I went to Hopkins Institute. I wanted amoeba antigen. My dean at that time, C.K. Deshpande, he said, why do you want to set up amoeba culture? You already get antigen somewhere else. Why don't you use that? I told him genetically that amoeba and our amoeba may not be the same, and I would not like to use that way. I want my own amoeba to grow. I want antigen to be made in India. Unfortunately, we did not succeed because Hopkins was down.
Sir, one more thing I want to ask you, like when gastroenterology developed as specialty, definitely we encourage. So now there is medical gastroenterology, there is surgical gastroenterology, then there is specialization here. So now we are going to higher and higher degrees of super specializations. So what is your opinion about this degree of super specialization?
Specialization is useful in a sense, but basically you have to be a clinician. Then only you can use the specialization. In a sense it is useful. I know some of them and I know myself also. For example, when I used to get a patient with a big liver, he was in congestive cardiac failure. I used to tell him, you need a cardiologist to treat you first, then you come to me for big liver. Telling this to patients was rare with amongst our doctors also, in a sense. Now that specialization has helped that. So if you have a particular disease, now every consultant will tell him you go to this man or that man, he is specializing in that. That will help you.
Sir, like we have a huge population and the number of specialists, super specialists is very less. So what do you suggest how their services can be made available and accessible to most of the people in the country?
In a sense, KM has done that, JJ has done it. When you have an OPD, 100, 200 patients come. You admit only 5, 10, 20 at a time. Others are diagnosis. We treat them clinically. Basically, specialization is useful. More specialists you get, better for the population, better for everybody. So, in a sense, it will help the country. But specialists, I shouldn't say that he will do only this and will not see other patients. You must choose, in a sense, be first basically basic clinician, then other things.
Sir, any memories you have to share about your colleagues and friends? Any incidents you remember?
my colleague, I already mentioned you, Raghavan, Dr. Sen. I was surprised. Dr. Sen used to come and sit in gastroenterology meetings. I was surprised myself. But he used to come. I was the only honorary who had a special room in whole full-time department. Nobody else had a special room. Next to me was a statistician. So my work was easier with the statistician. Because she helped me analyze most of the data that I have collected. And then surgeon to my senior surgeons, Dr. Baliga, Dr. G.S.MEDICAL,
Amji.
Dr. Arthur Disa. He helped me a lot. Disa was a surgeon, but he used to do pediatric surgery also. Pediatric surgery came in my background after I joined KM. Pathology department was very helpful. Kinray, actually, we did intestinal biopsy at that time. We didn't use gastroscope to take duodenal biopsies. We used to use Rubin tube or Crosby capsule. I did most of the work, my chapter in Baucus's book on Crosby capsule. And we did some biopsies in India also. And Miss Kinray, she was a pathologist. She actually measured the villi and showed that villi in Indian subjects are smaller compared to Western countries. But it was she who measured it. Biopsy immediately I did. Gave her that and told her to measure this.
Very good collaboration and professional understanding.
And pathology department, every week we had a conference. There we used to see the slides of all biopsies, gastrointestinal, particularly liver biopsies. And all Devdar was the person who used to help me that time. Purandare was the head of the department, he also helped me. That way my collaboration with everybody was good.
Sir, besides the academic setting, did you have any interactions outside as friends and all?
I had friends both here and outside. I might tell you something which I did not tell you. When I became MBBS, before I was selected by IME to go to America, I did general practice for a short time. And malaria was rampant at that time. And we used to call anybody for in malaria. I am a person who selected me was a surgeon and a radiologist. They also helped me. Actually, going to America was that time cheaper. We spent, each one of us spent not more than 3,000 rupees.
So did you have to apply for this going to USA or they just select?
I was lucky enough, in a sense. They were, Chester Bowles told that American Medical Association has agreed to take certain doctors. So they approached IMA president at that time was Dr. Mule and secretary was Dr. Sen. Mule told me, in my general practice, I had a strangulated hernia patient. I took it to the surgeon. He told me, wait, I want to talk to you. On behalf of our district, I want you to go to America.
Okay, so you were basically selected.
Sir, what brought you back? Because we were working in such a good setup and you had gurus and very nice setup. So how is it that you came back to work here?
I told my boss, in fact I was offered assistant professorship in Miami, in his institute also, which I said, you have enough gastroenterologists. We have very few in India. My country needs me more than you need me. When I returned with my publication in BMJ and editorial on it, I got offer in writing from Vellore and Chandigarh. You join us. I was invited to go join.
So what took you to KU?
I preferred to my own institute. I wanted my own institute develop and help our own city. And I have no regrets.
So do you have those papers? BMJ, editorial, all those?
Papers.
Because we want to collect some selected papers which were path-breaking.
We have got them. No, Baba? आहेत ना आपल्याकडे?
पॅरोलला
हो.
असेल.
बाबाचे आहेत ना तुमचे पेपर्स सगळे?
I'll have to search and give it.
Yes, sir, but give us. We will return the papers, we'll just keep
Take a copy.
This is only, we can talk on this subject.
Good photographer also.
Yeah, he's a
In a sense, I was the first person.
आणि आजही त्याचा नाही वाटत की that is very important.
In a sense, I was the first one to write first paper on irritable colon. In fact, irritable colon was called chronic colitis, spastic colitis, and cyst. Several papers before me were published like this. Mishra in Lucknow, professor of medicine there, Lucknow Medical College. He wrote papers on chronic colitis. It was in fact irritable colon. That was the first paper I wrote actually in KU.
just before I joined you.
Is anything else?
So can you, if you remember your undergraduate college days, anything special about it? Who was the dean?
Pimparkar's father was the dean originally.
Dr.M.V.L.Kothari.
Then came Joglekar. Most of the specialty departments in KM came under Joglekar. Actually. And I was pleading with him, you make a gastroenterology also a separate department. And he had limitations in his headquarters. Municipality was not willing to spend more.
Do you recall something regarding your undergraduate studies?
Yeah, you can tell him about that, Baba. This, what you have written this. When you were in interscience, you suffered from enteric fever and malaria, and then your anubhav त्याचे.
वार्षिक माणसाने त्यांना बहुत
About Nair Hospital, KM Hospital.
Yeah, Nair.
Your undergraduate.
And इथे.
No. Only thing I'll tell you something is, when at my village there was not even high school. When I was a student. My education was at Solapur and Pune, district place, and then Bombay. When I was for interscience, I suffered from malaria. And that was, and I wrote my paper in 104 degree temperature.
Oh.
That's how I lost my class. But except that, I think gradually it helped me. Undergraduate students, my medical education was with one of my colleagues, was my partner, dissection partner, roommate, and later on we graduated together. He is a general practitioner. He did a roaring general practice. I also did a roaring general practice at my native place.
So how many students were in the class? When you were in from 46 to 50, no? In my medical college? 45, 46 to 50.
150 students used to be admitted.
150?
Each year 150 students used to be admitted. And class was 20, 25, maximum 20. Mostly 20, sometimes 15.
Baba, tell them about when you came to Bombay, you didn't know anything, and then how that Parsi fellow helped you. That is very nice.
I came for an practical examination to Bombay. It was only held in Bombay. I never had come to Bombay before that. I didn't know it was a Edmonton College. My maternal uncle used to stay in Kalyan. I came with him in his car, got down and were eating. And I started walking foot. I lost way. I didn't know where Edmonton College was. I started crying, actually. When Parsi gentleman saw me crying, he said, "Why are you crying?" So I'll show you if I help you tomorrow. He took me there and I appeared for practical examination.
His mental
In a sense, I've been lucky that people help me. Even in KM, my relations with most of them were good.
You can also mention about about your nuclear medicine. What of work in that also?
As I said to you, I got interested when I went to postgraduate with doctors. Rubin was the person who started using isotopic trioline, isotopic oleic acid for estimation of malabsorption. And he used to claim that that is better than doing fecal fat, chemical fecal fat. That was my thesis for doctorate. When I that time, even in institutions in America, except for thyroid probe, there was nothing else. No scanners, no gamma cameras, never such CT cameras. X-ray department was the only department in KM hospital out of technology. I first saw sonograph in Hopkins Institute. It was a huge machine. I don't know whether you know the story of sonography. Sonar was used to detect German U-boats originally. And that was applied to medicine. Subsequently became smaller and smaller sonography machines.
It's like our ECG machines. It became progressive smaller and smaller.
ECG machine was brought to KM hospital by Vakil for the first time when I was a student.
Sir, you had any other hobbies besides your work? Any other interest, hobbies?
In school, high school, I used to play cricket, atta padne, kututu. My other hobby was gardening and farming. In fact, when I was in science, I was telling my father that I will go to agricultural college. He said, no, I want you to become doctor. It is at his wish I become doctor.
And sir, when you were doing all this work, could you spend time with your family, or they used to grumble that you are all the time tied up with your work?
Most of them did not grumble. It was hard days also. Money was difficult at that time. Even in America, payments were very low. When I joined Marcus, I was paid only $150 a month. We three lived in $150. Those days are gone, there's no point in recalling them.
But he used to take us for
शेती करायला फार आवडतं.
picnics every Sunday. Juhu Beach, RML colony, observatory, every Sunday we
They live everybody. He has family relations. His wife, his children. Still they talk on the phone, you know.
So very
And he's very interested in that. It was always a very bonded, you know. The students also, their family also used to come home.
even
And,
PhD student, he expired, but his wife the other day she called him to wish him on his birthday.
Oh,
all these students have got very homely relations with him. He kept it that way, you know.
okay.
Where with money from drug company, money was very short. I used to pay the first technician, I paid 150 rupees a month. They subsequently became PhD both of them by training. Five technicians did PhD under me.
Sir, L.G. Joshi worked with you, no?
H.G. Desai,
H.G. Desai is a gastroenterologist.
junior,
No, technician. L.G. Joshi worked with you? 44.
Yes,
Your room was just across.
that's right.
Dr. Kothari.
I told you, no, I was the only honorary who had a room.
Yes.
Dr.
Dati had no room. Dati used to sit in the ward, side room of ward. And it was grace of both Bacchus and both Raghavan and Sen.
Then you got to.
Now, basically when I went into my room, there was Beckman machine which was lying in the cupboard. I took it out and started using it. When I was in Bacchus, we wanted to do trypsin in pancreatic disease. And that's why I used to go to the laboratory. I used to see them things there. I saw the instrument, learned it, and that's how I suggested that you get auto-analysis to pay him. But that is history now. Don't write all this.
We are building up on history, and that is why all this exercise. Sir.
Don't mention names.
No, sir. Nothing will be which will be negative in any way.
You edit it. If you like, you show it to me.
Of course, we will show you. Sir.
And basically, I am very grateful to all of you for coming here and doing all this.
इतका वेळ आले किती टाइम आले
Huh?
तुमच्याकडे किती वेळ आले इतका वेळ बसले
I didn't mention, besides teaching postgraduates in my own institute, I was examiner for both undergraduate and postgraduate medicine, D.N.V.L. also, in several universities in India.
वरती जरा सरकवायला लागेल सर.
इकडे बघा बाबा.
हो
बाबा look into the camera.
And smile.
Smile, Mama.